Yeah, good to see so many people tuning in. And of course, Lee and I have done many events together. Perhaps some of you have been in some of those before. I've known Lee. How long's it been, Lee? What, at least a dozen years, isn't it?
Probably 10, 10, I think.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
long time.
And I think that I was first a little intimidated by someone called the HomeScholar business who wants to make transcripts, and that sounds just heavy and intense and kind of the opposite of the way I tend to think about record keeping and grades in particular. And then for some, I think we went to coffee or dinner or something, and I said some crazy thing like, well, I think you should be able to pretty much do whatever you want and call it whatever you need to for a transcript. And Lee said, yeah, that's pretty much right. And I thought, aha, now we have some like-mindedness here.
Mm-hmm.
But I know so many people who have angst, and even more than just angst, sometimes straight out anxiety about the college, getting ready, being sure you've covered all the bases, got your ducks in line, whatever, crazy metaphor you want to use for hitting the real world after the fantasy of world of homeschooling,
Mm-hmm.
and being sure that you don't fail your child, and honestly, I don't think I've really met anyone who, having adult children, said I failed them. But
Right.
there is that angst before they get out into that work and college environment. What do you do about transcripts, and how's it all going to look, and what are the colleges really looking for? And actually, I have found in the last, I don't know, 5 years in particular, maybe a little more than that, colleges are starting to chase after homeschoolers.
Oh,
Have you
very
found that
much.
too, Lee?
I see that a lot. Yeah, and that's one of my concerns when people hear from older homeschoolers that say, "Oh, colleges don't like you." Well, that's not current news.
Yeah, I think what's happened is that the homeschool students that have gone into the universities have proven to be very good students. They've got the skills to, work independently as well as collaborate. They know how to study. They know how to, get good grades. They're socially generally quite competent, if not excellent. And so the universities are saying, average homeschool kid is pretty good. Let's go pick up some more. I know that
Mm-hmm.
here in Oklahoma, the University of Oklahoma, OU, where my son is actually going to begin next month as a freshman, they have a special person in their admissions office specifically as a homeschool liaison, and the personal attention that we got in the process was really quite remarkable. So I think we can hit this with confidence, but we also want to have those transcripts lined up and looking good, don't we?
Right, right. And it's all about taking your normal homeschool and just making it understandable to colleges rather than making your homeschool into something it would be unnatural for you and, not looking like a school, but taking your normal homeschool and making it understandable to them.
And that's what your class tonight is about, is how to help the average mom in the average homeschool make a good-looking transcript doing whatever they do. And I would just say one last thing to our folks, and I'm going to have to tune out because I've got a couple of things cooking here. But I'm very happy to see so many people tuning into the webinar. And I would say, if I could go back to the very, very beginning and say to my wife, sweetheart, I know this woman who will help you. Let's just get her services and do this the easy way. It would have saved, like I said, a few hours on the back end. But we're coming into our very home stretch here, and I know we've got a lot of big families out there, and so I could just encourage them. Lee is just probably one of the most encouraging and common sense, down-to-earth, but careful people in this whole business. So I welcome you all. I recommend her highly and say God bless you. Keep up the good work and have a good rest of your summer.
Well, thanks. I really appreciate that. Yeah, I was thinking about that the last class that we did, how much we see things exactly the same. So That's interesting. Well, thank you, Andrew. I really appreciate it, and we'll talk to you next time, okay?